Good evening, everybody. Guess who's back? Yes, it's Hodo and Pulse. We're back here for the OWLET Tournament, Season 3.5? Yes, it will be the Minors Division today here on the OWLET Tournament, featured here on my channel. It'll be Hyperion versus Ignis Academy. Ignis Academy being the home team. This will be the first match in the opening round of the Minors Division. Joining me as my co-caster, it is the one and only, the extraordinary, it is Pulse. And Pulse, we start the OWLET tournament all over again. This is a truncated, small, shorter season than Season 3, but I'm very, very excited that it's back up and running.
Yeah, and it honestly feels pretty great to be back. It's been a while since we've been able to cast together. Kind of going our own separate ways for a bit. Me doing some stuff in Elo Hell, you disappearing into WoW for days on end and not being able to find you again. But alas, you have emerged once again, and we are so ready for OWLET to be back. It's been sorely missed by a lot of the community.
It has been, and you know what they say, all roads lead back to the OWLET tournament. It is not Rome where the roads lead out to. It is the OWLET tournament. So let's bring up the team cards here, and we'll do our initial introductions. We are going to introduce first. It is the team from Hyperion, coached by Always. It is going to be Oakley, Rosemary, Lysaru, Stuffin' Things, Optic, 731, Yaint, Plasma, and Lofty. And it looks like their starting lineup is shifting a little bit here. It looks like Stuffin' Things, Optic, Vati, Oakley, Lysaru, and Hen are going to be your starting lineup. Why don't you read off the starting lineup here for Ignis Academy?
Yeah, so for our home team, which will be in blue for our first map, it's going to be Bowsy, War and Peace, Nyx, Skyops, Boreas, and Mushroom Biome already on the field. Mm-hmm. And we have a couple people just sitting on the back lines, mostly gonna be, if I'm not mistaken, just the Lolo is gonna be their one sub for tonight. So Always has a shot to make their way in later.
Yeah, and the thing about it is like, you know, substitutes are very, very common, especially in the OWLET tournament. So a lot of people will get their chance on specific maps, or if they are specialists with regards to specific characters, you'll see them come in. So expect both teams to see changes throughout the night. Trashbout being the head coach here of Ignis Academy, and then Bowsy and Ember on the staff. It is a little bit interesting here. So the format, we're going to mention the format as you're going to see the scoreboard here. You see nothing on the scoreboard. What's going to happen is they will choose a map for control, then escort, hybrid, then assault. If neither team has reached 3 points, they will go to a control map on map 5 to determine who will end up winning. And it looks like on map 1 they are going to go on to Ilios, so it looks like it will be Ilios will be the first match, first map here up today, and it will be Ignis Academy in blue and Hyperion in red.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to get a wonderful view of that at GNC, just off of the coast of lovely Ilios. So things have been weird in Overwatch. Just to catch you up, Hodo, everything is crazy. A patch hit Thursday. Everything that these teams have been practicing for the past 2 months, where there's been very little meta movement, all of a sudden just doesn't make any sense anymore. So I've had a couple friends coaching some teams across minors and majors, and when Thursday, Friday come around, they really hit that mindset of, you know what, screw it, just scrap everything, you know. Maybe it's time to start over. So there are kind of a couple dominant things. Some teams you'll likely see revert a little bit back to double shield, but double shield isn't the monolith that it once was, right? You've seen a lot of Monkey Zarya as of late. In Overwatch League, the Chengdu comp, if you will, it's sort of, you have your Monkey go in, be a really fat nuisance and kind of punch everyone around. And because of the cleave damage, you build a primal every fight. The bubbles are there to block off your supports, and it just caused chaos. So double shield has always been what it was, just be 2 shields in front of each other. But then you've also seen a lot of things happen in the patch, i.e. the Roadhog buff. So Roadhog has been an option for some teams. We've seen a lot more Pharah popping up. But right now what we're seeing, I can't believe it, but it's going to be a Bastion.
Yes, it looks like Vati here on Hyperion will be running with the Bastion initially, and they will be using, you know, that Symmetra here to teleport around maybe, so maybe they're looking for some high ground flexibility. War and Peace and Bowsy on the other side, though, will be going with Orion Zarya, very traditional old-school Overwatch format.
Look at the Bastion!
Yep, look at the Bastion. It's already been teleported up, and it will be raining down death, as it looks like they're going to try to move it down, but Vati actually is able to take Skyops before he gets taken down, and now they are going to be fighting here around the well. They are, it is a 5v5, but Nyx getting 2 big kills here is going to try to see if he can change it up. It looks like the tank here for Hyperion here has to back up. Stuffing Things has to find himself into a corner as Bowsy takes out Lysaru, and now it is a huge advantage here for Ignis as they're going to be pushing back the members here of Hyperion and initially take the point.
Yeah, and I love that Bastion strat, because that was actually premiered earlier on Overwatch League with the Atlanta Reign, so I think they took a little card out of that book and tried to do the wonderful, majestic teleporting Bastion, but alas, didn't work out with some good picks. And now, it's absolutely gonna be Ignis Academy sitting pretty on this point, full control, no ultimates, but War and Peace getting very, very close to that Shatter along with Stuffing Things.
Yeah, it looks like here they're going to try to hold up right here and behind the wall. Typical stand-up hold-up place. They've got to make sure. There's the Shatter. Oh, Warren hit a big one right there. That shield was down, and now they're going to use the coalescence here from the Moira to push on in, and down go the members here of Hyperion as they wipe them out, and a good hold here from Ignis Academy.
Yeah, and the great words of one of my friends, it's fat! And it's absolutely a massive Shatter just laying down the entire team, and that's kind of one of the reasons you don't really see a whole lot of Roadhog. Hen taking a dive is going to delay the attackers just for a little bit, but that Roadhog doesn't really provide an extra line of defense, an extra shield to stop that Shatter. And War and Peace just lays them down. Stuffing Things did use Shatter in that fight, but it didn't find anyone, and now Nyx has a Bob, and there's a defensive sound barrier, but they even start off with the first pick in this fight. Skyhawk's taking down Oakley on that Ashe.
Yeah, and it looks like going to be Body taking down Skyups there, but it's a 1-for-1 tram as Mushroom by him actually gets a big boop there onto Body, and now they're trapped in the Graviton here, but still behind the wall, not really able to push. They do get a hook on Warren and take him down, so now that's going to be their opening with the shield down here. Ignis is exposed as they chase down Bowsy here, but it looks like they give up on the chase relatively quickly with the Bob in the background. They're going to be forced to turn around. They're just going to try to see if they can hold here. Bob holding his own gets slept and is probably going to be off the field here by the time they're going to be able to reapproach. 3 people on the field here for Hyperion, as it looks like a big hook there by Optic, taking Skyops out of the air as Oakley taking Bowsy down along with it. They're going to go to 99% before they give this up, and it's now Hyperion who's got to climb all the way back here to take this point back all the way to 100 if they can.
Yeah, but Hyperion need to play this absolutely perfectly. They have some ults to make it through a couple fights, but Ignis, all you need to do is stockpile a couple ults, get through Stuffing Things, Shatter, get through, you know, maybe a Rally, maybe a Bob if you have to, but War and Peace just already aggressive. There's a Shatter goes through, but not really anyone of note getting taken out. It's until Warren charges into the whip shot, delaying this push just a little bit longer from Ignis Academy.
Yeah, as it looks like Warren tried to sort of push in there, be a little aggressive, counter back that Shatter, and it just didn't pay off. But the thing about it is Ignis can be a little patient here, right, Pulse? I mean, they literally only have to win one fight here, and then they've got it. So maybe be a little patient, build up some ults.
Yeah, and you did use the Coalescence, so it's not the end of the world. You can build up another one pretty quickly, but really just one Shatter, one Graviton, both of which are online, is all you need.
Oh, and it looks like a Bob's getting sent out here on the field, but it's going to be sent all the way to the corner here. They're going to try to defend right here on the point, but Mushroom and Warren going down again. It looks like it's another fight win here for Hyperion, as every member has been going down for Ignis, and now they're going to have to start again. They've already gotten up to about 65% here, and they did end up using an ult there in that last push, so a couple more fights here for Ignis before they can actually maybe settle in.
There's one long rotation happening, so this will likely be the last good fight for Ignis. They need to play this right, and you have to avoid this whole hog and the rally. If you can weather those two storms, you have a chance to win this fight.
Yeah, they're going to need a big initial hit here, and it looks like a big Graviton as they come in, but it looks like they are going to be shielded in there. Good shield there, especially to protect them in. Big Shatter comes in. Warren Gibbs going to get charged all on in, and Stuffing Things takes him down. Skyops there finish off Stuffing Things, and a big Lucio ult there will cover the team. They're both at 99. As you said, this is going to be the final push, but it looks like Hyperion has run out of players here on the point as Skyops actually takes down Optic and Oakley going down. It's switching over here. Overtime ticking down. Here comes the ball. This is going to be the final fight. That ball is going to try to survive. Big fire strike there from War and Peace to take him down, but now it's just cleanup time here for Ignis, as now they're just going to be able to wipe them out, and they get first blood here on the well. They need one more, and they will take Ilios.
Yeah, and that was an incredibly close fight. What started out almost looking like it was going to be 100-0 just ended up resulting in a bunch of unclean fights for Ignis. And it kind of happens, especially on Well, when teams are being that aggressive, holding that far up. It gives you such good sight lines to each other's spawn rooms. And really just falling into that trap is what caused teams to lose so much percentage building up. Once you saw teams take long rotations or sort of fight their way in, maybe get a trade in their favor and finally get some presence on the point, is when these teams were really able to duke it out. And Boreas honestly coming up massive with that Coalescence. It found 2 kills, provided a lot of sustain, even though the tank line was in danger and dropping. It found a lot of the openings that Ignis needed in that last fight.
Yeah,
now going on to Ruins, we do see a Widow and a McCree. Not something we see super frequently, that McCree, but you know, Nyx on that Genji is going to be the answer to both of these hit stands, so it's going to be up to that player.
Yeah, it looks like Oakley here is just sort of wrapping around. Warren actually gets an early kill here, as it looks like the Widow's not going to be able to find anything right now. It looks like Oakley did, as I say that, down goes Boreas, and now the Widow's already flanking on the side. SkyOps actually takes down Stuff and Things, but initial point here will go to Ignis Academy, and what another great shot there by Oakley, as they're just whittling them down. Oh, a melee kill by the Widow right in the face of War and Peace there, and they take the point after only allowing 10%.
Yeah, and a quick turnover, but early percent does build up after some time. Nyx now making that swap over to Widow himself, so get to see a little bit of Widow do. SkyOps also has made that swap over to Tracer, but Body on this flank might be able to find some damage early on this fight. Does back up, but Warren has a Shatter available to go whenever he's ready.
Yeah, Nyx here is trying to wrap around, try to figure out maybe he can get a pick or two here, do the same thing that Oakley was doing. But it looks like they pushed very, very high here. That Reinhardt's got to be careful, Stuff and Things. He's got to be aware that there is a Widow on the field, so he's got to be making sure that his flank is covered. Shatter coming in, not going to be able to get very much, I think, as Warren now trying to push his team through this really, really tough choke that's been set up here by Hyperion. And now Warren just swinging away, making sure here comes the rest of the members of Ignis. As they come through the point, SkyOps has gone to that Tracer, taken down 2, and now they're just cleaning up the point here. That Widow is trapped in the back, knows it's over, down she goes, and it is going to be a take here. Hyperion, good job at 50% on the point.
Oakley just giving their regards to the other team before falling there, but both Ryans actually managed to find large shatters, but there was very little follow-up, which is symptomatic of some of these fights so far. But Bowsy getting hooked very early on, but gets out with their life barely thanks to the whole hog, but grabs everyone in. No one's really going to fall there until Vatty takes out Boreas on the retreat from Ignis.
Yeah, that Graviton seemed like it was used defensively, as they're basically now down that big ult as they defend here onto the point. So now they're going to be on the point just sort of defending. They're going to try to see if they can depend on their Tracer here to get into the back line, as you see here wrapping around trying to get in, but nothing doing here. The rest of the boys from Ignis here are going to be on the point, just making sure that they're going to control it. Coalescence coming in here. Every time that's come out for them, it's been big, as Boreas trying to make sure that he can defend his team. Big Shatter on the other side, but and we'll take down War and Peace, as Body and Optic here will try to sort of push on in, as it looks like the Nano Boost on Optic. Good hook there, catches Mushroom Biome, and down they go. And it looks like it will be Hyperion here going to take the point over again, but turning over 73% here. Ignis doing a good job. It's pretty back and forth here, Pulse, on Ruins.
Absolutely. These teams haven't been able to hold on to the point for more than about 50% at a time, but now it's Warren's turn with the Shatter, as Stuff and Things did open up last fight with one. Now there's an option for War and Peace to try and lay everyone down, but it is blocked.
Yeah, it is blocked, and they are going to be able to hold. Bowsy actually blew himself up, and with Warren going down again, the percentages are tied, and it is going to be Ignis who are going to have to go back to spawn. Late kill there on Boreas, and now it is going to be Oakley here going to be pushing up forward to try to see if they can get an early pick. This is big trouble here for Ignis.
Yeah, percentage building up. Someone's going to have to be in position to touch, and it's likely going to be Nyx on this Doomfist diving in, but Oakley, Vatty already moving back, getting ready to counter this.
Yeah, and there it goes. There goes Nyx. Oakley's got to be careful here. He can get one good shot, though. The Doomfist will go down. Ooh, Shatter comes in, prevents the members from following up here onto the point, and it is no good here for Ignis. They're not going to be able to come on through. Nyx went down, so that means it's a matter of just defending, not allowing them on the point. Boreas gets caught in a hook there, gets taken down, and now it is just going to be a matter of time. There's only really one person left on the point. Skyops gets blasted there by the McCree, and we are tied at ones here on Ilios. Hyperion giving Ignis a great fight here, so who will win this map here? And we will end up going to the third map on Ilios. Very exciting stuff here, Pulse.
And especially Night Market too. Like, it's been a very brawly map so far, but this is by far the one that is most decided by brawl. And really, it's been a story of two different tank lines, because right now War and Peace and Bowsy haven't been finding the value that they need to into a Roadhog. Generally, Azaria has been considered a soft counter to this Roadhog, but Optic really giving people run for their money. And since the Roadhog buffs, it's really been the first time since Roadhog has been this much of a threat in like 2 to 3 years. So players are really going to have to dig deep down to remember how to play against this hog, especially across all levels of OWLET, because it's just been showing up time and time again these past couple days as a counter pick and a way to catch people off guard.
Yep, and it looks like here the members of Ignis have decided to try to get onto the point first. They're going to set up here with their with Nyx here on the Symmetra. So now it's going to be a little bit of a sort of a death room here. War and Peace in deep trouble. He got grenaded and taken down, so they lose their shield. But Nyx taking out Lysaru here, trying to even up the fight. But no main tank here is going to be a little bit of issue for Ignis. So they've got to make sure that they can take people off the point. They're going to get the initial percentage start here, but down goes Mushroom, and that is going to be a problem. They lose their support, so Stuff and Things here just swinging his big hammer, trying to get people off the point. And again, it looks like it's going to be very similar to what had happened on Ruins. They get a small percentage, but no, they refuse to give up this fight here. Bowsy on the point, unfortunately, will get taken down, and finally, that I think is the last of it. Yep, it looks like Skyup's frozen on the corner there, not on the point actually, and was unable to hold it.
But about 20%, that's not really chunk change in the long run of things. You do want to be building up as much percentage as possible when you can. So, you know, Ignis not going home empty-handed, but definitely would have wanted a little more off that. Nyx also is the closer Symmetra to Symmetra barrier right now, that massive wall that can cover an entire point, and completely shut off this flank angle that Vadi's taking. So Vadi needs to be careful, play a little bit closer to this team, or else you're going to be a useless McCree shooting into a shield this entire fight.
Oh, it looks like here they decided to go high, but instead they actually fall down because Warren actually fell off the ledge there. Graviton comes in, but they don't have their Reinhardt to swing away. The shield actually does come up, but this fight has gone the way of Hyperion here. Everybody gets frozen, and it looks like can Bowsy come in and capitalize? There is a teleporter inside the room for a really tiny short teleport to go back and forth. But I think the advantage here is going to still be with Hyperion, as they're going to be able to hold here as the members of Ignis are trying to sort of flow in again. Warren just getting nailed by those turrets, and now here comes Ignis' shield as they're going to try to see if they can cut off the room and maybe cut off the effectiveness. Nyx taking down Lysaru. That beam gets really powerful as they fight here onto the point. They're just trading kills here at this point, and here comes the Hog ult as he's going to try to push people back. Down goes Nyx off the ledge, and it will be Hyperion who will be able to defend here. They're already at 75% here. Good showing here on Lighthouse.
Yeah, and a devastating fight for Ignis Academy as well. They had a shot to back up and regroup there, but instead they sort of just streamed into point for a long time. And now, while they do have an ultimate advantage, Bowsy with that Graviton and Boreas with a Nano, most importantly, they have a chance to Nano their Rhino to swing into something. They need to touch and win this fight decisively.
Graviton actually will be onto the point here, and Warren will get 2 big kills. They've needed him to stay up here, and now they just go all in onto the point. That fight happened outside. Vadi got 1, but that's not going to be enough here, as they're going to try to chase him down, or he's going to retreat. Looks like he's backing off, and there's something that I'm starting to see here with Warren going down early. They just haven't been able to set up an offense. Ignis hasn't. So now with Warren up, maybe they'll have their shot here to hold the point here, Pulse.
Yeah, Warren has been a very important part of this defense, and a little bit of a sacrificial lamb so far. Now Boreas making their way back on Mora. This team will have a main healer available for the fight, but the Shatter doesn't find all that it needs to.
Yeah, as it looks like Warren got the flankers, but he did not cover the back, and the counter shatter by Stuff and Things there was able to open up the spot here for the members of Hyperion, as now they're just swinging away here. They're at 99%, which means if they can clear off the point, they can take Ilios, as it looks like there's going to be nobody in the area here, as it looks like the Monkey trying to come in, but he mistimes his jump, and it will be Hyperion here who takes the early 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and very close, but I do think that this, in the long run, is going to boil down to the tank differences seen between this team. And I don't mean like tank diff to be like, you know, one of them cancerous people in your ranked game sometimes, but really the difference between this Rein Zarya versus the Rein and Hog. Optic has been able to find a lot of value, and teams really haven't been addressing it the way that you need to, and especially Ignis Academy. They've been very greedy with their bubbles. Bowsy, I like the Zarya play that's been coming out, and the way that Bowsy's been, you know, like skirting, kiting around these fights to keep his energy. But because he's been very greedy with these bubbles, oftentimes they'll just, you know, hook the Zarya, hook the Rein when they run out, and you don't have a way to save your teammates. So when you're playing into a Hog, you need to be a little bit more conscious of that cooldown.
No, absolutely. And Ignis there has got to be careful about like protecting their main tank there. I mean, Warren needs to stay up on the Ignis side to give them a shot through these fights, but Hyperion has done such a great job of taking him down that it's just opened the rest of their team up to the sort of hyper offense that Hyperion has been running. So it looks like here one of the members of Hyperion, it looks like Stuffing Things here, has to restart. We will go to an escort map here, so that will be our second map in the OWLET tournament, and I want to make sure I am clear on the rules here, folks. I just want to make sure I'm quoting it correctly. It is going to be the losing team that will decide the next map going forward. So that means it will be Ignis Academy who selects the next map, and I see Watchpoint Gibraltar come up as the possible next map choice here for this matchup between Ignis Academy and Hyperion.
And Gibraltar always has been that map where you kind of have to run Winston on first point. Less so in the OWLET minors division, just because playing what you're comfortable with will almost always prevail over what's meta. But it does open up the discussion for, you know, like Winston, maybe an Orisa, even though Orisa has been, to put it lightly, a little bit gutted since Thursday. One of the big tools of her kit, Halt, has been nerfed significantly, the radius, so it's much harder to deny high ground from the enemy team with it. So generally that means you want members that can take advantage of verticality, you know, like a Genji, a Winston. Long range hit scan generally perform well on Gibraltar across all points, so Kree, Widow, Soldier. But it's not one that you typically see a lot of Pharah. It's not one you typically see a lot of Symmetra. It's not one that you see typically a lot of things of that nature, you know, kind of like more projectile-based DPS at long range. It's things that you want to close the distance. There's a lot of cover for flankers to skirt around, just to be a nuisance and disappear into a dark corner somewhere. And I'd be really interested to see how both of these teams approach that, because it's not something that we've seen from them. We've seen a little bit of the Ashe, and Ashe sort of replaced the Widow, but there's been quite literally, almost no dive, no flankers coming out, except for like, you know, brief like Tracer, Doomfist to touch points at the very end.
Yeah. I mean, like this is one of the harder escort maps too. If you know, based on the selection. So to let everybody know up there on as to how the rules work. So OWLET works on a map pool system. So with regards to control, the teams had the ability to choose out of 3 maps, Ilios, Busan, and Oasis. And an escort, they have a 3-map choice between Dorado, Havana, and Gibraltar. So it looks like here Ignis maybe knowing going in, having map pools set, it is very, very good for teams to know exactly what maps they want to play on and what maps they know their opponent wants to play on, as you can strategize exactly what you should be practicing for that week with regards to opponents coming up, and they will be picking Gibraltar. So with the reset here, it looks like Hyperion is going to take an extra second. Let's talk about what else is going on here in the OWLET tournament. So in the meantime, just to let you know, there is another game that is going on right now. From what I understand, it is VMT, Vote Meme Today. They are actually they are playing Kraken Skulls on the OWLET tournament main channel. That is being casted by Commander Hui and Joey. So if you're interested in checking that out, you might want to go over there. You know, we don't want you to leave, but we want you to know that there's other action going on here in the OWLET tournament. And that's in the minors division. Like, let's check out the majors. It is a majors game going on here too. It is going to be Velocity University versus Crusaders. They are playing actually on Silent Marine's channel. If you want to go to twitch.tv/Silent Marine, you'll hear Rainbow and Rainbow and Misfit on the call for that game in the Majors division. Pulse, there's so many games going on in the OWLET tournament. I love it. It feels like it's pre-COVID-19 all over again.
Let's just not bring that up. You know?
Yeah, I know.
Relive the glory days. There's Overwatch going on. You don't have to think about it right now.
Exactly. So, you know, it's like I'm just very, very excited. We get to call games again here, folks. I'm just very excited that there is the OWLET tournament that is back. It looks like they are going to take another couple minutes here, so in a bit of an extended delay. In the meantime, I think that we should maybe go to a break because they think they're going to take an extended coaches timeout. So when we come back, it will be Hyperion on Ignis Academy. It will be Watchpoint Gibraltar, Hyperion leading the matchup here 1-0. When we come back, it will be Watchpoint Gibraltar, so stay tuned.
Could always use more heroes.
Alrighty, folks, we're back. That what we thought was a 2-minute break ended up becoming a 30-second break, and we could have probably stayed on live, but you know, whatever. It is going to be Ignis Academy here in red and Hyperion in blue. Hyperion opting to go on defense first, and they're going to be setting up here on the high ground. So it looks like Vadi is going over to the Ninja here. So first shot at Genji, I think, in this match. Nyx playing the Genji also here for Ignis Academy. Going to be going up to see who the better Ninja is. Warren and Bowsy. We see the Monkeys and the Zaryas here, so you were right about that, Paul. So it looks like it'll be a Winston forward tank line that will be going forward here on this map.
Also worth noting, Lofty was subbed in during that break, so now instead of Optic, who we kept talking about on that Roadhog, is going to be Lofty on the off-tank role. And already these two Monkeys just dueling on high ground, and Lissaru finding that first pick on War and Peace is going to be huge for this push.
Yeah, and it looks like Oakley getting also a kill there on a flanking Skyops. It's not going to be good here for the initial push for Ignis. Early percentage here going to the members of Hyperion, so they just got to clean that up a little bit. You're going to try to come back out again, and it looks like Warren's switched up. He's going to the Reinhardt here.
Wholesale changes, actually.
Yeah.
The
so
Ash,
maybe,
the May, the Rhine.
Maybe they saw something in the opponent's lineup that said that, hey, this is going to be giving us a little bit of an advantage here. So it looks like they were able to push the payload here all the way under Car Wash, and now they are just going to be able to sort of hold the high ground here. Stuff and Things actually goes down there to the Lucio, and now they're going to be trying to come back out again, as it looks like Nyx is going to be hanging out in the back and trying to just shoot on the members of the high ground. They've gotten the payload here through the wash, and now they're going to be coming up through the hard side here, but they do have the shield here from War and Peace, so they're going to be able to sort of sit behind it and wait for them to come at them. This is not going to be very good with regards to short range like shield battles. Winston trying to get into the background area and try to see if he can do anything, but instead he's going to end up flanking here and going to give the members here of Ignis an advantage onto the ground. But it looks like Stuff and Things actually gets taken out there, but with Warren taken out here, both main tanks are down, so it will be Lofty and Bowsy here who's going to try to see if they can show off their stuff. There's a Coalescence coming in here. They're going to try to see if they can use that Coalescence from Boreas to sort of make sure that they can come through. Bob on the field. They get caught in the Graviton, and Vadi here takes out Skyops, and that's as far as they go, I think, Pure Pulse, as the members of Ignis here are not going to be able to push on through.
No, and Stuff and Things does get back now finally with their team, and this is going to be a full regroup for the remaining players of Ignis Academy. Now, It's going to be Bowsy's turn for the grab. They had that option available, but you do need to be careful about Vadi. Like, Vadi has a Blade. Blade has been a very strong ult, and there's Rally, so there's plenty of things to stay alive, especially with this Blade coming out very prematurely, actually. They Nano Blade, and Vadi's running at their spawn, but everyone just kind of backs in, so very interesting play, to say the least, but now Bowsy has a free grab to use pretty much however he wants.
Yeah, I think that was a miscall possibly on the side of Hyperion. I think they were expecting the members of Ignis to come on through, and when they heard the call there from the Genji, they immediately backed out, and he really didn't have anything to attack. So now you're right here, they will have a free Graviton here to sort of use, and Bowsy uses it right there, catches 3, is going to allow Warren to sort of swing away, but Warren here has to be shielded as he was grenaded early on and was unable to literally like sort of stay in there. So now he's going to try to see if he can attack the members here. I've opted to go onto the high ground. Vadi takes Warren out as he was just not able to get anybody. They're down to about 55 seconds here. The 1 minute call already in, and now they're backing up again as their front line for Ignis here unable to sort of push on through again, and now they've got the payload stuck here at the top of the hill, but they're going to have to wait for Warren to come on through.
Warren will be walking back with this Shatter, and that is one ult that you don't see coming out from the defense because they don't have a Rhine. So the only thing that can basically block this is going to be a very good Zarya bubble or a tactical Winston bubble coming through, but Stuff and Things is able to control this high ground so well, is able to jump around, and if you look at it, the defense isn't very roofed up, so Warren's going to need to dig deep down and find a massive Shatter.
Yeah, the big kill there onto the Lucio is going to start off here with the big Graviton right there. They're going to get the kills that they're going to need. It looks like Hyperion got everything that they needed. Nyx taking care of Vadi, but then the Shatter there by Warren at the very last second is not going to be able to do enough here, so they're going to clear off the payload. Nobody around it. Overtime actually still able to tick down as there was one person still close enough to the payload, but that is it. Great defense there by Hyperion, stopping them right before point A.
And Gibraltar has been a map that has looked like this across all levels of play. It's been one of those maps where you don't really see much beyond first point as of late, just because of how strong Monkey has been, how strong Zarya has been. It's been very hard to really build momentum on this map. There's just so many points for attackers to get stalled up, and there have been quite a few full holds. So while this is going to be hard, it's not going to be impossible, as it has been in some previous metas. Like if you run goats, you have a lot of momentum. If you run double shield, it's a very momentum based comp, but things haven't really been able to build momentum on Gibraltar as of late.
No, it looks like you were absolutely right. As you know, a lot of the pushes here that were coming through by Ignis seemed very, very sort of sectioned. They were able to get so much before they had to stop and actually back off. And Hyperion doing a great job in basically killing momentum for Ignis and not letting them build it up. All right, so we've got 26 seconds here for right before setup. It looks like Warren here will go to the Monkey here on defense, maybe just to make sure that he's able to have that flexibility to get around. But the matchups here looking very, very similar. It looks like the difference here is that it looks like Oakley will be going to the Widow here on offense versus SkyOps, who is on the Sombra.
Well, if this defense is played consistently and well, there should be, 2 or 3 people on that Widow at any given time. So if Oakley's able to find value, it's not for lack of answers on the defense.
So it looks like Oakley's going to hang back a little bit, and it looks like the members here of Ignis Academy are going to be very, very aggressive. They're going to allow that payload to just basically single move, and they're going to try to see, maybe, it looks like they're going to try to set up at the end of the car wash here, but it looks like Stuff and Things has gone way deep there and was trying to get a kill, unable to do so. That payload is still underneath and moving. There are 2 people on it, and now it looks like Ignis finally are going to just drop on down as soon as it comes down here and take those members off. It looks like a great kill there by the Brigitte, so preventing Nyx from getting any more. So Lysaru and Lofty here are going to back off, so their defense is set up here. It will be at the end of car wash, but Hyperion have moved it pretty much 3/4, if not 7/8 of the way to where it needs to be. But this is the hard part, Pulse, as they try to get to that blue box of victory.
Yeah, but Warren's caught out. The Winston, the Dynamite all into Warren right away, but the Cleansing Bubble is available, and they just collapse onto the offense underneath the car wash. But now they back up cleanly. They have the positioning they need. The defense is in position. The Dynamite comes out, and Stuff and Things finds Boreas.
Yeah, that's it. That was such a big kill here. The advantage is there, but Nyx taking stuff and things down turned it into an even fight for maybe 2 seconds, as Nyx has been huge here, as he's been getting the kills that they need to sort of stall them down, and that payload still only moved about a little bit of a couple inches, it looked like on my screen, as Skyops and Nyx finished them off. It looked like easy going there for Hyperion initially in the beginning, but no go there. Nyx saving their bacon there in the end.
Yeah, things getting very dicey very early on, but defense able to find their footing and get back into this match. So now finally the defense is in a pretty safe position. They have grab, they have nano, they have EMP, they have all of the options available, but they can't fall victim to Vadi's nano blade. Like, if you're uncareful, if you're not paying attention, that will completely wipe your feet off from underneath you, and you need to be prepared for this if you're the defense.
Yeah, it looks like the members here of Hyperion are trying to sneak in below or find a way to get to that high ground and then maybe drop on down. Here comes the Nano Blade, Counter Blade coming in. It looks like Nyx is going for the backline. He's going to get Hen here. If Hen can save himself, no, but Body gets kills on the support line too. It looks like Mushroom Bime gets taken out, but Nyx gets taken down here, as it looks like they're going to try to see if they can push on through. Bowsy getting Vadi, so both Genjis down, but it is going to be the 2 tanks left. Here come the ulting monkeys. They've gotten the payload right into the edge of the box. They've got to fight onto the payload here to make sure that they can survive. That spawn is so close though, they need to make sure they stay on the point. It looks like both tanks are down. Kills going the way here of Hyperion, and they're going to be able to close it out. Watch Point Gibraltar is theirs. They take a 2-0 lead here over Ignis Academy.
At the very least, Ignis Academy did take a lot of time off the clock, so it's not something that you look at and be like, that was a complete stomp, you know, because it was a very close match, but in the end, not being able to focus down that Genji that was grabbed and nanoed ended up being their death sentence. Like, you got the grab was good to stop the blade, you had everyone shooting at it, but you're just, for some reason, it wasn't enough, and it should have been, and I think right now that's the question Ignis need to ask themselves and solve is, what are we doing wrong? Why wasn't it enough? Like, what is going on in their comms right now that things are just slightly off kilter for them to be having these issues right now?
Yeah, you know, this is the first match here of the tournament, so teams feeling each other out for both Hyperion and Ignis here. So, but they really do need to right the ship here if they're going to stay in this match. Hyperion already up 2-0 here. It will be Ignis's choice of map again. Bowsy and team have to pick what they're going to be able to play, and you know, Hyperion had their number there on Watch Point Gibraltar, a 1-0 win, shutting them down before point A and then rolling it in there with, even though they do lose a lot of time on the clock, but a win's a win here for Hyperion, and it looks like we're going to hybrid. And Pulse, what is Overwatch's favorite map?
I don't want to jinx it yet, but yeah, it looks like we're going to Kings Row. No surprises there. Whatever Kings Row on the map pool, it's basically always been picked.
Yeah.
So if you're not prepared on Kings Row, or if you're caught off guard by someone selecting Kings Row, then really it's because you played yourself more than anything else. Like, you should be expecting this map. You should always have a good strategy for this map. You should just, like, when hybrid rolls around, you just need to expect Kings Row coming out. And this is real where teams really have their chance to shine. Just sort of rely on their bread and butter to help them get through this map, where you can rely on things like, you know, Soldier, Kree. You can rely on Ryan Zarya, even when Ryan Zarya is not meta. It's where you take your fundamentals and prove yourself really as a team.
No, you're absolutely right, and I like the point that this is a fundamentals map, because there are many ways to play this, but by going back to your bread and butter, a lot of the times that works on this map, and no matter what the metas are or what little tricks teams try to pull on each other, sometimes the simplest is the best here, as both teams trying to figure out like what they're going to want to do. Ignis will have the choice. I think Hyperion will have the choice of whether they want to go on offense or defense first. Most likely, I think Hyperion will stay on defense here. They're up 2-0 here on Ignis, and Ignis being able to choose this map, knowing that they're going to have to pull one out. This is a lot of people's go-tos, so it'll be very, very interesting to see. So both teams here, I think, talking with their coaches here, Pulse. So we're are going to come back here in a sec. We're going to take a little short break, and then when we come back, it will be King's Row. Hyperion going for the win over Ignis. Ignis need to get a win here on King's Row to keep this match going, but Hyperion is up 2-0, and we'll be right back.
You know, the world could always use more heroes.
All right, welcome back, folks. We are back here in the Overwatch tournament. The Overwatch tournament in the OWLET tournament.
This is Overwatch League, Hodo.
Yeah, this is, welcome to the big stage. No, we're in the OWLET tournament here, and it will be Hyperion on defense. Ignis will be on offense here. Nick's going to the Widow, trying to make things happen, and Ignis need a win on this map pulse to continue this matchup, but Hyperion's just had their number going in, and they will be going to the standard Rhina Zarya matchup here as they sort of wrap around this statue, and it looks like on the other side it will be stuffing things in Lofty going also with the Rhina Zarya.
Yeah, only thing surprising here is that Torbjorn shutting down flank angles and pressuring Warren, and it is Warren who gets pressured back to the spawn via way of respawn. So now, first push over, 30 seconds off the clock, and Warren wasn't really able to do a whole lot that fight. And this has been a reoccurring thing that we've seen. Just bubbles have been coming out so frequently for War and Peace from Bowsy that they're not there when he needs them.
Yeah, and he needs to slow down maybe the bubbles here as a Warren tries to get again, and he gets grenaded, and that's going to be an express death again for Warren here, as that big grenade there was able to get hit as Hen throws it in there, and now Warren's off the field again, and poor Warren here is going to have to come back from spawn, but they just haven't had a consistent offense here with their main tank just being down all the time.
Yeah, but now, since they have taken so much damage, it is Boreas online with this Coalescence. Stuffing things Lofty, have some tank ults to try and counter it, but again, it's Ben Hen coming up big with these Bionades every single fight, just finding them over Warren's shield, purpling him, slowing down their offense, and they have a go button here. They just need to be careful with it.
Oh, it looks like there was a big shatter there from the back as Stuffing Things comes in. Warren is able to get him down, but they catch the Graviton in the hotel there, so nothing doing here for the members of Ignis as they're going to be caught out there in the hotel. Final kills going through, and we're already at the 2-minute mark almost, 2:10 here on the clock, and it's all been Hyperion just not allowing them any sort of movement past the statue.
No breathing room for Ignis Academy so far, and the defense did invest a lot in the fight. Both tank ults were used, but now they have pretty much everything that they didn't. Both DPS ults, both support ults, so there are still plenty of tools to get them through this Graviton available from Bowsy. And the Coalescence as well. That rally armor is really nothing to scoff at.
No, it really isn't, as they try again to go through the hotel, and they're going to use the back of the Coalescence here to get him through. Vadi takes down Boreas, who was actually laying back to help with the Coalescence as they were going through the hotel, but Vadi getting 2 big kills, and Warren and him go down, so now it's a big retreat again. 1:30 here on the clock, and Ignis Academy here showing real problems coming through the choke, as again they're going to be coming on through. Hyperion building up their ults here as they're going to basically be saving him in there. They haven't been using them all, so they've been able to just sort of save it, and this is big trouble here for Ignis.
Yeah, but you do have a Graviton to work with. That is still the shining star of this offense. A Graviton and a Death Blossom. That's plenty of things to find value with, but if it doesn't work out, then you're staring at a full hole.
Yeah, and here comes the combo here as they actually use the ult there from the Torbjorn to shield them from coming on in. Great use of the Torbolt there to just block their path. Skyops, though, was still able to get body, and this fight will continue. Graviton will catch the backline here, the tanks, excuse me, and now here comes the advantage coming in from Ignis as they're able to finally get the kills that they need. Looking rough and tumble a little bit, but they're able to get the kills. There's that turret still left there. They're going to be able to take it out, and that's going to do it, I think. And Ignis will capture point A, but it looked a little rough there in the end.
Yeah, things were going a little awry, and you saw how split it ended up being for them. Everyone is kind of playing their own game right now, but eventually, by sheer force of ultimates, really, they were able to just push through and get the fix they needed. Now Bowsy shining like a highlighter, completely pressuring this tank line, and the Zarya has the momentum from Ignis, but it's up to them to keep up this pressure and keep Warren alive.
Yeah, and Warren goes down again as Lysaru actually was able to catch him, and with both tanks going down, I think it looks like Hyperion sees the advantage, and they're just going to charge on through and see who else they can pick up. They don't get anybody else, luckily, for the members of Ignis, but it looks like now Ignis are in a tough spot. I hate that payload in that spot. It's a really terrible place because it doesn't give you room to fight. But now here comes Warren again. They've had success when they've just been going quickly, and it's just not allowed them to come through. Big shatter here. Warren does catch him in, comes in with the charge. They're able to finish off Stuff and Things, but they take him down with it. But that might be a good enough trade here for the members of Ignis, as now they're going to be able to get some space. Lofty, though, getting 2 big kills, as they're not going to be able to move on that. I think speed might be what Ignis needs here, Pulse, as if they've really gone slower, Warren has just been open to death, but when they've just sort of charged on in, they've been able to protect Warren better with the sort of quickness of their movement.
But it is Vadi right now on this Junkrat causing a lot of problems. Already sitting at a tire. After they swapped from that Torbjorn, it's just been a lot of pressure into Warren's shield, and right now, a shield can't block this much damage. The grab goes through, they do find the first couple kills, and it is Hyperion that's going to be pressuring back the offense from Ignis Academy one more time. But it is only the Lucio they get it, so they don't really feed too much ultimate charge. They're kind of baiting the Ryan to a position where he needs to be careful, or else Stuff and Things will drop, and not a whole lot of time in the long run is lost there. And now it's Ignis Academy online with plenty of ultimates to use, but you have to keep Warren up. You need that main shield just to block this incoming damage.
Yeah, exactly. So here they come. They're going to rush on in again. Going to use the back of that Coalescence and just bully their way in. Bob on the field here for the members of Hyperion. They're just going to try to see if they can just maybe stall them up. Bob doing a pretty decent job, just sort of holding his own right there on the field, and they finally take him down. They only lose, it looks like, Mushroom in that push, and now looks like Warren sort of glowing there, trying to make sure that he can get on another offensive bubble here, but not bubble usage. Still a little... it needs to be improved there. He needs to have that available when he's in the muck there with the rest of the team. It looks like both of them have now engaged right at the corner. Shield. It looks like it was a hammer down right there from the Reinhardt, unable to get those. Stuffing Things comes in with his shatter and is able to charge on through. He gets pushed. He gets to push back the Bowsy and team, and now it looks like Vadi and Hen get 2 kills of their own, and they didn't pay attention to the clock as they weren't able to stay on the payload, and that is it. They get about 2/3 of the way through point B, but Hyperion set up a good defense there, 89.75 on the movement there from Ignis Academy. Hyperion giving themselves a good shot at a win here on Kings Row.
Yeah, and in all honesty too, that was less of a C9 from Ignis and more of a losing fight that the team was just forced off point, because it was just a Reaper and a Moira, I believe, still alive and kicking. But when you're facing 6 people with just a Reaper and a Moira, it's basically a hope and a dream keeping you on cart. So Ignis now, they have set up at least a formidable offense in that they captured point A and got the cart most of the way through C. There's plenty of chokes, or most of the way through B. There are plenty of chokes that they can use to their advantage to stall out time and even potentially get a fuller hold at any part of the map beforehand, so things aren't over. But honestly, I do think Ignis wished they could have gotten it just a little bit farther, and especially with some of the things I see the offense on right now, any of which could or could not be a meme, like Bastion is something we've seen already, the Hog is something we've seen already. I wouldn't be surprised if they just roll out, see if they can get a pick in early momentum on any of this. But the Ryan, the Sigma, the Bastion, the Symmetra, I think we've seen this one before. Huh?
Yeah, this is going to teleport to a very unusual position, and we're just going to wait for it here. Let's see where Vadi ends up, and he will end up here right on top of the statue as he's going to try to see if he can rain on down. Good sleep there to make sure that he actually drops immediately onto the ground, but that gives times for Stuffing Things and the rest of the team to sort of move on in. Vadi's still able to take down Mushroom by him, and it looks like they're going to get an early advantage here. Teleporter back up, as it looks like they're going to have a good retreat spot that they're going to be able to sort of rotate to. As it looks like they've moved onto the high ground, they're going to be able to position Vadi in a really, really tough place to get him. And he's just going to be raining down death. This is not good here for Ignis. And it is going to be a quick point A take here, as they're just not going to be able to deal with that, as Lofty gets a big kill as he's going in, being very aggressive here. Now that the points actually changed up, the spawns here, they're going to get caught coming out of the subway. This is not good, as it looks like Skyops and Boreas are still able to sort of hide around the corner and make sure, but the late spawns here are going to actually end up in the back, and now they're going to have a lot of space to move this payload pulse, as they're just going to have a lot of time before an actual engage is going to come in.
And look at this, even with the Symmetra teleporter buff, you're able to have it up more frequently. They're just teleporting Vadi around the map, getting these unusual high grounds as Bastion, forcing bad angles from the attackers. Stuffing Things Lofty really aren't contested at all right now, and they can just maintain the space as the cart rolls in home.
Yeah, exactly. They put the shield up here, just sort of dividing the area into them, basically making the alley very, very narrow, and now the payload is actually going to be coming around the corner. Here comes the ult from the Sigma, sends them up into the air, but Skyops there with a big tire will take 2 out as Stuffing Things and Oakley both go down. Skyops here has been huge on this defense, getting a 3rd kill here. That's going to make sure that they're going to be able to sort of hold at this point a little bit. It looks like Stuffing Things on the back of a nano boost here is going to try to see if he can hold the payload up. He's going to retreat behind the corner, though, gets taken out, and they are so close, and there's so much time here left onto the field that they're just going to retreat and sort of try to see if they can get back and fight a 6.
Yeah, with about 4 minutes and 15 seconds left for the cart to go, 8 meters, this is going to be a Herculean defense if if we see Ignis Academy pull off. This is nothing to scoff at, and everything needs to be perfect from here on out, starting with War and Peace's Shatter. That needs to find value. And if it doesn't, it's just game over right here.
Oh, and it did find value. It was big. They actually got stuff and things in Lofty, but here comes Body on the ult. Here comes tank mode. Oh, he got taken out in the ult. So therefore, that does not actually pay as many dividends as they want. They only get 1 kill. So it is going to be fighting around this corner. Bowsy and Warren have got to come up huge. Warren's got to stay alive here and make sure that he can sort of keep holding them back. Stuff and things coming in, trying to see if he can force the issue. A big Sigma ult into the backline there is going to try to delay them eventually. Down goes Warren. That's a huge kill. Tyre coming in along with the Graviton gets 2. That's going to stall him up. They're going to try to see if they can get this Sigma down. If Lofty goes down, they're going to be able to hold this, and they are indeed. And now they're going to be able to force back Vadi and his Junkrat. He gets taken down, but a good hold here, but they've got probably 3 more that they've got to be able to do, but a big hold there by Ignis Academy.
Yeah, that's huge. That sets them up for some momentum, and while things aren't necessarily looking much up for them, they did take another minute off. Now Vadi... The real issue is Vadi can just build up to a tire, use that like Skyops has been using to win these fights, but right now it's Stuff and Things just building up to that Shatter. One Shatter, again, the whole fight can turn, and Stuff and Things right now has the mic.
Yeah, it's Stuff and Things getting the nano boost, but he was hit by a grenade, so he's got to be super careful here. The fight, they're just forcing their will here onto the members of Ignis, and they're going to be pushed back. They get the kills, and they get the win. Hyperion here, able to push in. They get the win on King's Row, and they do get the win in this matchup over Ignis, 3-0.
Play of the game.
And I do think there were a lot of high points for both teams. I really enjoyed, honestly, the things that Hyperion was pulling out just to catch Ignis off guard, and I really think that's an underrated aspect of Overwatch. People always forget about it. It's the sheer amount of chaos you can cause just by running something the other team doesn't expect, right? And I really respect it when teams just play into that. Like, you know, we can run a Bastion here, no one will know it, especially since it's the first week, first day. Like, you have no clue what the other team is going to run. Like, people kind of know each other just because people have been around OWLET for a while, but you never know when you put when you put 2 individual brains together and they come up with something unusual that you just haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, and running that Bastion was ballsy, but they were able to combine that with the teleporter and make sure that they got a lot of space there on King's Row and just didn't allow Ignis to set up a defense there on point A, and just came out with a little bit of a surprise and was able to push on them, and that, I think, ended up in the long run winning that map for them, as they just were forced into a point B defense that they could not hold long term. So it is going to be Hyperion here who gets the first win on their first try. So they go 1-0. Ignis Academy will go 0-1, but they will have another matchup and will be able to try again here next week. As a lot of improvements here. They're going to watch the footage here, Pulse. What would you say to Ignis as they watch the replay of these matchups as to what they need to improve on going into next week?
I think the real bright lighting for Ignis right now is pretty much all of the problems, all the things that we were talking about that need immediate attention can be fixed with just one VOD review. Like, you look at it, you'd be like, oh yeah, I just don't do that next time. Like, your coach runs it by you, be like, hey, work on this thing and this thing for this week. For example, like Warren, make sure your team's behind you. Like, there are a couple times you just end up getting stranded and you tried to be a frontline when you didn't really need to be a frontline. Like, Bowsy, check your bubble usage. Like, you make sure that you have it to purge purples, especially because Hen was just running the match with tempo nades to stall out pushes, everything like that. And honestly, you fix those 2 things, I think there are a lot of bright spots for this team.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And, you know, they had flashes of brilliance there with regards to it. Now, it looks like I'm going to see if we can get Oakley here into the matchup. Want to make sure that I can get him here into Caster Booth 4. So give me 1 second here, and we're going to get him in. Let's see if I can drag him on into the channel. So a new thing with regards to Overwatch for OWLET, we've been trying to see if we can get a lot of people into the interview booth to see how they're feeling. A lot of people seem to very, very much like it. Pulse, if you remember, it was you and me who started doing these interviews a long, long time ago, and people have started to pick up on this.
mean, it's always fun when you get to be on TV. Just give a shout out to people that you like, whether it's your family, your friends, stuff like that. And I think honestly, in any league, the people are always going to be a big part of it, right? So if you can ever highlight it, it's just a good thing to do.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get them into the channel here. So it will be Stuff and Things, and it will be Oakley if I can drag them into the channel here. Let's see if I can actually do that. They are very, very far down in the channel. So please excuse me if it's going to take a second here. We're trying to see if we can get them into the channel. As an admin of the OWLET tournament, I usually am doing this as a producer, but in some of the cases here, what's going to happen? You know what? Let's just go into the Hyperion channel. Let's see if we can actually do that, Pulse. Let's see if we can actually just go into the Hyperion channel real quick. All right,
are they getting?
We're in the Hyperion channel here as we go live. I'm going to try to see if I can get Oakley and Stuff and Things here into the channel. Stuff and Things, Oakley, are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, how you doing, guys? I'm going to see if I can drag Pulse in here for a second to make sure that he can come in and do this interview with you guys. Congratulations on your win, by the way. How do you guys feel?
Thank you.
How do you guys feel after that first matchup?
You know what? We feel pretty great about ourselves, there were some ups and downs. I'm not gonna lie. That first point, Ilias, a bit shaky. We tried a new Bastion strat. A bit niche. As you probably would know. And we kind of bring it back in King's Row, but we try to have fun here.
No, yeah, absolutely. It looks like you got your initial nerves off of Ilios. Walk me through Gibraltar and King's Row. It seemed like you had your way through both of those maps.
I got this one. So we kind of figured that they would put us on Ilios because in preseason, both our games were streamed and we did not play Ilios. So I kind of called that one. And then we only lost Gibby or Gibraltar in preseason. So we kind of expected if we won map 1 that they would pick Gibraltar. And we had a plan going into it that we would run that Winston Zarya dive comp, and may or may not have had a couple hiccups along the way, but we came through. And
that's life,
Yeah, I mean, you had basically a full hold there on Gibraltar, and then on King's Row, we saw the teleporter and the Bastion come out, and we sort of expected you guys to go to the top of the tower there, but your teleporter usage on King's Row was really, really good, being able to sort of then adjust and move the Bastion to the other ledge, just basically shooting in onto the point. Was that planned, or was that just sort of improvisation at its best right there?
That was Vadi just telling me to put him up on the high ground. Me and him, we have some synergy doing weird stuff like that from the past.
Yeah, Oakley is a very cerebral player, It's like I basically let him do what he wants, Especially on Sim with the teleporter, it's like he could definitely go on a tower, but that's what everybody's expecting, Everybody, I think, that is most people watch Overwatch League, and I think they've saw that in Overwatch League before, in season 1 or season 2. So you kind of want to shake things up. It's like, you want to teleport to the ledge. You want to keep them on their toes, especially with Bastion Symmetra.
Yep, no, and it was very, very good. A 3-0 win here. Pulse, any questions for the members of Hyperion here?
I think you've covered it pretty good so far, but honestly, it's been an absolutely fun match just to see some weird stuff come out. I know the patch day on Thursday really threw a lot of teams for a loop, and going forward, do you think that Hyperion as a team is gonna keep embracing this chaos, or do you think you guys are gonna, sort of settle down later on into something?
I'm pretty chaotic evil, so
yeah, I think we're gonna.
I don't know, stuff you can answer that one.
I think we're gonna go into the chaos. We've been running Reinhog. We're still deciding on whether or not it's called Sausage Party, but we've been doing that, and then we're trying to also figure out whether or not Zarya is the better pick there, but we kind of went with some comfort picks on the tank.
Either that or Winston Hog,
nobody knows what's going on right now. Nobody knows what's happening. So we're down to do whatever it takes to win, and that's going to look really weird going forward.
Well, for those who are just joining us here on the cast, it was a 3-0 win here for Hyperion. We've got the members here of Hyperion in the chat. Going forward, looking at your schedule going forward, are there any teams that might give you a little bit of reserve here going forward in some of your upcoming matches in the next few weeks here? Are there anybody that you maybe are looking out for that that maybe were rivals in the preseason that you would really want to get some revenge on?
I know, speaking for me, I'm looking forward to playing Kraken Skulls again because a lot of our members played them in GGNA as well, so we've got some history. So we're looking forward to that.
All right.
And I want to make their Winston Int more on cooldown.
And me personally, as the coach of the team, I'm just more concerned with keeping our players in check, like just elevating our players themselves, regardless of what team we play, as long as our players are always at their peak, I think we'll be fine.
All right. So this is the time also that I like to give I like to give the teams the availability to give a shout out to anybody that's watching on the stream that was maybe watching your guys' victory. Is there anybody you want to sort of call out and say hi to on the stream before we close it out for the night?
Hi, Mom.
Stu, hi.
Hi, Pulse Esports. You're the best.
My Scrub Cup team from back in the day, like 3 months ago, is watching.
Hey.
I pulled out Torb for you guys.
Hey.
I actually have a petition. I want the return of Doritos habanero hot chips. It's been out of season for about 5-6 months. 5-6 years, not months.
Oh, yeah.
I love those so much.
Yeah, and they're gone, and I would sign that petition in a heartbeat. So, Doritos, hey, if you're watching, bring those back. Please. Please,
Doritos, I know you watch the stream. I know you're a fan of Overwatch.
Yeah.
Listen to me.
All right. Well, congratulations on your opening win, and hopefully much success going forward in the OWLET tournament.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Well, so it looks like that's going to do it for us here on the cast. Hyperion take a dominating 3-0 victory here in the OWLET tournament minors division. Pulse, final thoughts on what's going on?
It's week 1, day 1. A lot of things can change, but for tonight, it's Hyperions that's the victor. So everyone, you've really just set everyone's eyes on you for the week, and they know that they kind of have to be worried about the Bastion, Symmetra, the Torbjorn, all the weird stuff coming out, and I hope you're ready for that pressure.
I think they're going to be. But for Pulse, I'm Hodo. Thank you so much for joining us here today in this special Saturday night edition of the OWLET tournament. Join us again. It will be live again on Sunday, not on my channel, but on the main channel. So check your local listings for all of the Overwatch that's going to be available here from the OWLET tournament. We're going to be going on for a good month and a half here. So watch Hyperion, watch Ignis, watch all of the teams in the minors division and in the majors here going forward on the OWLET tournament for some great Overwatch action. But for Pulse, I am Hodo. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you next time.